You've seen them, right? Those liquidity pools in DeFi promising insane returns. It feels like a gold rush. But let's be real, they're also a minefield where your money can vanish in an instant. So, how do you grab the gold without stepping on a mine? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down today. We're going to build a system, a pre-flight checklist, to help you make way smarter and way safer decisions.
All right, so here's our flight plan for today. First, we're going to tackle the big picture, the LP gamble. Then, we'll dive into our 7 rules, piece by piece. We'll start with the absolute foundation, rule number 1, asset quality. Then, we'll check the pool vital signs with rules 2 through 4. After that, we'll look at the bigger picture with rules 5 to 7, platform and fees. And by the end of all this, you're going to walk away with a complete, ready-to-use go-no-go checklist.
You know, when you look at any liquidity pool, you're staring at the same classic trade-off. On one hand, you've got these eye-popping APRs just screaming at you. But on the other, you have all these hidden risks, right? Impermanent loss, rug pulls, or just getting into a bad position from the start. Look, the goal isn't to avoid risk. That's impossible. The real key is learning how to spot it, how to see it clearly before you jump in.
And that really boils down to this one simple question every single time. Is this thing a gold mine or is it a minefield? Because without a system, without a framework, you're just guessing. You're flipping a coin. And that's not a real strategy, is it? It's just gambling. And that is not going to work long term.
And that's where this system comes in. I want you to think of it exactly like a pilot's pre-flight checklist. These aren't just, nice-to-have tips. No. These are non-negotiable safety checks you have to run through before your money ever takes off. This simple process, this is what separates a smart, calculated investment from just a wild bet.
All right, let's dive into rule number 1. And honestly, this is probably the most important rule of them all. Asset quality. Before you even glance at the APR or the volume or any of that other flashy stuff, you have to get serious about the 2 tokens you're about to put together. I'm telling you, their quality is the absolute bedrock of your entire position. If that foundation is shaky, the whole thing is going to come crashing down. Guaranteed.
So I want you to ask yourself these 4 questions and be brutally honest. First, would I be happy holding each of these assets by themselves long term? Because hey, the pool can rebalance and you can end up with 100% of just one of them. Second, and this is a big one, do these tokens have real utility or is it all just hype? And finally, do they have a strong foundation? A good team, a solid track record? Look, if you can't scream yes to all of these, stop right there. You're looking at a high-risk gamble. End of story. And this slide just lays it out perfectly, right? The difference is night and day. Over on the left, you've got your classic gamble, a token with no real purpose, a tiny market cap, probably minted last Tuesday. But on the right, that's your blue chip example, something like a Link/Weth pair. Both tokens have huge utility, massive market caps, they've been around for years, and they have solid reputations. This is the difference between building your house on sand versus solid concrete.
Okay, so you've done your homework on the assets. They're solid. Great. Now we move on to the next set of checks. Think of it like this. We've checked the ingredients. Now we're going to check the health of the kitchen they're in. This is all about the pool's vital signs, its health and stability.
Rule number 2, total value locked, or TVL. This number is basically a crowdsourced confidence score. It tells you how much money other people have trusted to this pool. So what's our magic number? Our absolute minimum baseline is $250,000. Anything less than that, that's a huge red flag for me. It just screams low confidence, high risk. And honestly, if you're more conservative, you might even want to bump that up to $1 million. Okay, let's talk about rule number 3, correlation. And this is so important, especially for these modern concentrated liquidity pools. So what is it? In simple terms, it's just a measure of how closely your 2 assets move in the same direction. Why does this matter? Well, when they move together, you stay in your active liquidity range, and that means you keep earning those sweet, sweet trading fees. The second they start drifting apart, you fall out of range, and the fee machine just stops.
So what number are we looking for? For Rule 3, your target for the 7-day correlation needs to be positive 0.5 or higher. The closer you can get to +1, the better. That means they're practically holding hands as they move. And you can find this data super easily on sites like DeFi Llama. Seriously, don't skip this. It's like checking the pulse of your position.
Rule number 4 is a simple one, but it will save you so much pain. The trend is your friend. Do not, I repeat, do not provide liquidity into a strong downtrend. It is a guaranteed way to lose money.
What you want to look for are pairs moving sideways. That's the best place for beginners because it's way more predictable. Or maybe a pair that's in an uptrend and is starting to flatten out and consolidate. Remember, we're here to earn fees from trading volume, and that happens best in stable or rising markets.
All right, we're making great progress. We've checked the assets, we've taken the pool's vital signs. Now it's time to zoom out for our final set of rules. This is where we look at the platform itself and the fees involved. Think of these as the external factors, the cost of doing business that can totally make or break your profits.
Rule number 5 is this super simple back-of-the-napkin formula that tells you so much about a pool's health. You want to see the 24-hour trading volume be at least equal to, and preferably greater than, the total value locked. When you see volume outpacing the TVL, that is a fantastic sign. It means the pool is hot, it's busy, tons of trades are happening, and that means more fees are flowing to you.
This is so important to remember. You're not just buying tokens here. You're literally depositing your funds into a decentralized exchange's smart contracts. You're trusting them with your money. And that's why rule number 6 is so critical. The DEX you choose matters a lot. You need to stick with platforms that have been around, that are trusted, that have high overall volume and a strong community. This is not the time or place to be a guinea pig for some brand new unaudited platform. And last but not least, rule number 7, pay attention to your business expenses. In DeFi, that means one thing, gas fees. And as you can see from this chart, the difference between blockchains is just massive. So here's a simple hard rule, unless you are deploying more than 10 grand, just stay away from Ethereum mainnet for LPs. The fees will absolutely murder your returns. Chains like Solana, Polygon, Arbitrum, they're just so much more cost-effective for pretty much everyone.
Okay, we've made it through all 7 rules. Now, let's put this all together into the thing you've been waiting for. This is your final actionable tool, your go/no-go checklist that you can use step by step to evaluate any pool you're looking at. Think of this as your pre-flight all systems go checklist. Before a single dollar leaves your wallet, you have to be able to put a big green check mark next to every single one of these items. Are the assets solid? Yep. TVL over 250K? Check. Correlation above 0.5? Check. Is the trend good? Volume high? DEX trustworthy? Fees low? Check, check, and check. If even one of these is a no, you just walk away. You find a better spot. It's that simple. And look, knowing when to get in is only half the battle. You absolutely have to know when to get out. This is not a set-it-and-forget-it game. You need to be watching for these red flags. If that correlation suddenly breaks down, if the trend flips bearish, if you see the TVL or volume just fall off a cliff, that's your signal. It's time to reassess and probably get out to protect your capital. And that right there is the whole point of this. When you follow these 7 rules, when you use this checklist every single time, you're doing something incredibly powerful. You're transforming what could be a total gamble into a calculated, risk-managed investment. You're not just crossing your fingers and hoping anymore. You're operating with a clear, repeatable system.
So there you have it. You now have the framework. You have the pilot's pre-flight checklist for navigating the world of liquidity pools way more safely. The only question left is, what's your first move going to be?